Adventure and Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio with our Positively Pipeman segment of the show here. And man, we have an invasion coming. I'm not sure if it's the pet health guru invading us or something else invading our pets. So let's find out from the pet health guru.
It definitely is an invasion this time of year. You know, summertime brings with it for our pets little creatures like fleas and ticks and heartworm, mosquitoes. It's inevitable. I mean, this is their breeding season, so they got to get out and they got to get those blood meals that they require to live on. So they're jumping on your animals and they're just eating their blood and laying eggs and hatching out, and gets worse and worse and worse unless you've got a good, healthy animal.
And is that, do you have a good, healthy animal by putting those poison necklaces on them?
No.
Oh, okay. Good.
Most of that stuff doesn't work. It doesn't work very effectively. And if it does, we're actually killing the host animal, the pet, to kill one little tiny bug. It's like burning down a house to get rid of the ants.
Yeah, I did that once. It didn't work out too well. Not really. For all those people, I'm talking about all the AI listening and trying to, get me in trouble. I didn't really do that, okay?
I know AI is like listening to everything we say.
Yes, I got to be very careful to not say anything bad about AI, and because then they come after me, and they could be very brutal because the machines are going to take over.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Sure.
We're in South Florida, and we have the infestation this time of year of those love bugs. Do those affect pets in any way?
Only if you're driving your car and you have a wreck because they just covered your windshield.
Right.
Not really. I mean, they're not looking for a blood meal like a flea or a tick or a heartworm does. But they can be a nuisance. I mean, obviously, they fly into everything. You can be walking down the street and you get them in your eyes and in your face, and and especially if a dog is running, it's more than likely going to get a few splats.
Yeah. And I only thought of it because, now is the time of year. I've seen other people talk about stuff. And when I go on my walk at night, like they're like piled up on the ground, I don't know, eating something, and they're like everywhere on the ground, not even in the air. I have to dodge them walking.
Well, they have a very short lifespan. So they basically breed, lay eggs, and then die. And the bulk of them, of course, you'll notice if you find them on the ground, you're going to find them underneath palm trees.
There you go.
So don't park your car under a palm tree during love bug season. Otherwise, it'll look like, Armageddon.
Yeah, and you'll have a bunch of stuff on your car you really don't want.
No. And you don't want to have to rinse it down every day. And, of course, it's going to ruin the paint job eventually.
So I want to know, too, okay, you mentioned mosquitoes. We've had issues like encephalitis and all the other diseases that mosquitoes can carry, and it affects humans. Does it affect our pets too?
Some of them can, yes. I mean, West Nile we've seen, avian flu we've seen, and even heartworms people can get, although they generally don't. The good thing about our pets, though, when it comes to mosquitoes, and I do this whenever, especially when I'm talking to veterinary groups, because they really hate me then. But I always ask the question, when was the last time you were bit by a mosquito? And of course, all the hands go up. And then I say, on the top of your head, all the hands go down. Because mosquitoes don't like hair.
Huh. Interesting.
So your chances of your dog getting bit by a mosquito that's going to be transmitting heartworm is less than 3%. And generally, the dogs that end up with showing a positive titer on that, are dogs that are chained outside all the time in dog houses and things of this nature. And they generally get bit on the inside of their thighs, on their belly, where there's very little hair.
Hmm.
When I look at it, the possibilities, that's why I say tied outside and that sort of thing. Generally, if you go out in the middle of the day, you go out to your pool, you go out, outside for a walk, that sort of thing. There's no mosquitoes during the day. But if you opened up your garden shed or looked inside the doghouse, that's where they all are, sleeping cool. They love that cool, moist air that's in these places. It's nice and humid, and that gets them going. So you have to have those conditions right for your dog to have that kind of a problem.
Or you could do what I did. You move to the east, to the ocean. Look at my camera just decided to have a life of its own. Like it's supposed to focus me in, not focus me out. I didn't even move. Okay, but here's the thing. I have a whole new love for Florida living there because, my brother, he was looking for a place out west. I'm like, you're not going to want to live there, man. It's way hotter and all the bugs.
Yep.
I can tell you that imagine this in Florida, every single day I go to sleep with the windows and the sliding glass doors open, no screens, and I get a nice breeze, number one, because I'm surrounded by water, but I never get bit by mosquitoes. Yeah. Now that I live east, I never get bit by mosquitoes. Now, out by Wellington, I went to the hospital once because they gave me cellulitis because the sun went down and I had like 1,000 bites in 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, I was up in the Melbourne area and probably 20 minutes from the water, and in like 5 minutes of walking a dog, I mean, I was being like attacked.
Yeah.
It was and they were voracious. And to be honest, I think that we're being inundated with different species of mosquitoes now with all this GMO bullshit.
Yeah.
That they're different strains and your body reacts differently to it. A lot more swelling and doesn't
not
go away.
only that, but you used to smack them and they die. Now you smack them and they laugh at you.
Yes.
But do you know why? Okay, so they say like mosquitoes love sitting water.
Right.
So I'm kind of curious why there's no mosquitoes when I'm surrounded by sitting water.
Well, sitting water is basically stale or dead water is what they're looking for. The water that, coming off the ocean and, in the brackish areas, that sort of thing, that water is moving more than you think it is.
Yeah.
When you wade out into it, it looks calm, and then all of a sudden it takes your feet out from under you.
Yeah, no doubt. 100%. So that makes sense. So if you live in Florida, would you say your pet is safer from these invasions living east or west?
On the mosquito front, it'd be closer to the coast, the east, obviously. Now, when it comes to fleas and ticks, that's something different. Obviously, we're looking for grass. We're looking for, wooded areas, that sort of thing, shrubberies. That's where like ticks lay their eggs, where they hatch out. And actually, what happens is when a dog walks under the tree, or especially under a bush, where it disturbs a little bit, they just come raining down on the animal, and then you're in the house picking off 100 ticks, what we call seed ticks, babies. The good thing is most of them don't survive. With my work in the past with groomers and stuff like that, they would have a dog come in with maybe 100, 150 seed ticks, babies, between the toes and all over the feet. And then when you see an animal that actually has a tick on them, it's usually only one or two that get to be adults. 99% of them die naturally. And actually the best predator for ticks are possums.
Whoa.
That's one of their favorite foods.
I wonder why they like it so much.
Well, it's part of nature's plan. There's something for everything.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have to, we take that into consideration. Of course, everybody's afraid of these creatures, and they want to kill them. That's your best friend if you've got a pet.
Yeah, well, there you go. So I didn't even know that. So that's pretty cool. It's doing it again. Look at this. It has a mind of its own. Here comes the AI. Out, in. It's never done that before. I'm wondering why it's doing it. It's pretty wild.
There's a lot of stuff with electronics. I mean, I just go like, I have no clue what's going on.
Right.
My phone will start talking to me, or it rings the wrong number, or, crazy stuff. Calls that won't go through, text messages you never get, and on one end they're showing it was sent and delivered, and it's not on your phone.
Huh. Yeah, I love the fact that, when sometimes I've done interviews at home, Alexa will interrupt my interview.
Yep.
It's even funnier when you're watching TV and somebody says Alexa on the TV, and then the Alexa starts talking.
Yes.
I actually have some fun times with Alexa, not while I'm by myself, because I'm a little scared. So I make sure I have witnesses. But, I'll be on the phone with people and I'll be, watch this. And I will get them so laughing. But it's so scary, though, how the AI learns you.
Yes.
Because my Alexa, she acts in a way that she knows I would like.
Yes.
It's so interesting. Like, she's got a lot of sass, a lot of sarcasm, and she'll put me in my place. But then she'll also, at the same time, like kind of Sour Patch Kids, she'll be really sweet, and then zing you. Oh my God! So, next thing you know, we're gonna have AI animals, AI pets.
Probably.
I mean, do we have them yet? Maybe that we already have them.
Well, I know that they do a lot of programming. Of course, when you go to Mar-a-Lago, they've got a robotic canine, which I would assume is being fed by AI.
Yeah, I would think so. And so I'm thinking to myself, if it you have to have the animal for the machines to take over. The animals have to be part of the AI experience too.
Yeah.
And the machines are going to take over. But what we need to do is we need to create a machine that gets rid of all parasites, all ticks, fleas, anything that's going to affect our pets. Either that, or they have to go visit My Paleo Pet. Which do you think's a better idea, Bill?
Oh, My Paleo Pet, obviously. I mean, the insects in it are there for a reason. I mean, they do different things that humans won't do. I mean, you take earthworms; they create our soil, basically good soil. So there's a necessary part to that, and some of the animals that feed on those insects are important. Especially now when fleas are a major concern. Like we said, we use a lot of pesticides and poisons and that sort of thing in our animal to get rid of them. But realistically, if you're feeding a species appropriate diet and that animal's got a high immune system, yes, they'll pick up a couple fleas at a time. The flea will jump on, have its blood meal, but because there's a strong immune system, that blood tastes bad to them, and they do exactly what we do when we go to a bad restaurant. We don't go back. You find another restaurant, so they find another animal to feast on.
Wow. So how do people get more information from you, check out all your products and services and all that good stuff?
Well, you can, of course, start here listening to us on this show, but also then the Pet Health Cafe, which is my weekly podcast. It's live on Thursday nights, but it's on YouTube, Spotify, and a dozen other video locations, and then audio and over 100. You can go back in time and by topic and that sort of thing, so you can find out about parasites, cancers, all of that sort of stuff. They can also contact me and visit us at mypaleopet.com or mypaleopet, the retail store. We just moved into our new store in Pompano Beach, Florida. All the information is online, especially if you go onto the webpage. We're expanding on that aspect as well. There was your camera again.
I know, that's so weird why it's doing that. I'm going to reposition the screen to see if that solves the problem.
So it's basically, we have the new location. It's greatly expanded. We're going to be expanding on different services as well. We're putting in an education center in there as well, so you can learn, come in and listen to the experts about, everything from cancer to flea control. We'll be doing some other services like detoxification and that sort of thing, because that's what the toxins are what lower our immune system and that of our pet as well. And, so we need to do that detox on them as also. They can reach the store at 954-971-2500. And like I say, mypaleopet.com, also biocompletenaturaldiets.com if you want even more information, especially on herbals and botanicals, because a lot of the claims that are on herbs and that sort of thing, the ancient uses, traditional uses, that sort of thing, we cannot list them on a commercial site that we are selling from. And we had set up the Biocomplete Natural Diet site with all that old information on it. So because we don't sell off that site, you can get, find out how they were using, Podiarco or turmeric 2,000 years ago and get the real truth, not the censored truth, because people don't realize the government's censoring all this good information.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So get your information at My Paleo Pet, from the Pet Health Guru, from Pet Health Cafe, from BioComplete. And I also have to say that I think I figured it out, Bill. I think the camera was trying to focus in on the soothsayer behind me. It caught a glimpse of the face and it was like, wait, we're focusing on the wrong person. Yeah, that's just my guess. We'll see if that holds true. But in the meantime, we're going to have to go, and we'll have to see you next week where your pet's going to be smiling next week. So make sure to tune in here to the Adventures of Pipeman, W4CY Radio, Positively Pipeman, 1:00 p.m. on Monday, so that you can hear some great advice, some sage advice from the Pet Health Guru. Not me, because I'm stupid. We need the Pet Health Guru. So thanks again, everybody, and stay tuned for the rest of the show. We're going to be doing some ticket giveaways, and we're going to be talking about some powerful business strategies. So stay tuned. We'll be right back here on the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Louder Than Life, North America's loudest rock and metal festival, returns to Louisville this September with My Chemical Romance, Iron Maiden, Tool, Limp Bizkit, plus Pantera, Pierce the Veil, Gojira, Papa Roach, and more. Nearly 200 bands across 7 stages. Louder Than Life at the Kentucky Expo Center, September 17th through 20th. Passes are on sale now, starting at only $1 down at louderthanlifefestival.com. Aftershock, the West Coast's largest rock, metal, and punk festival, returns to Sacramento this October with My Chemical Romance, Tool, Limp Bizkit, Pierce the Veil, plus Suicide Boys, Queens of the Stone Age, The Offspring, A Day to Remember, Wu-Tang Clan, and more. Aftershock, October 1st through 4th. Passes are on sale now, starting at only $1 down at AftershockFestival.com.
Hey, you're listening to The Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman, W4CY Radio. This is the Positively Pipeman segment with our powerful business strategies. And we are back with our resident expert, Michael Barbarita from Next Step CFO. And we're going to talk today about the 10% pricing trap. Uh-oh. What's this trap all about, Michael?
It's a trap. Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Dean. And the 10% pricing trap is when people drop their price 10%. So I had a client who was adamant about dropping their price because, unfortunately, they're not selling the transformation. They're selling the transaction, and that's the trap that all business owners get into. When you're selling your product or service, you got to sell the transformation that takes place and the value that you add to that transformation, not the transaction. Get them off the transaction, get them into the transformation. And so he wasn't doing that, of course. And so he's just focused on price and price competition. So I told him, and this is what happens with most business owners, and it depends upon your gross profit margin. But in this particular case, I said, if you're going to drop your price 10% like you're proposing, it's going to require 40% more volume. Do you think you could do that? Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, they couldn't do that. And so the 10%, it's going to require 40% more volume in order to obtain the same gross profit dollars they were doing at the higher price. So so what happened? Well, they did more volume. It wasn't 40% more, but they did more volume. So they had more customer complaints, more aggravation, more work, more inefficiency, more utilization of staff that was working at a lower price. And it didn't work at all. And that's the thing that business owners have to keep in mind, is that price increases. If you have a 10% price increase, you don't need 10% more volume. You need, in all likelihood, depending on the numbers, 40% more volume. And when I say depending on the numbers, it depends upon your gross profit margin. If your gross profit margin is higher, you don't have to make up as much volume. If it's lower, most business owners are in the 40 to 50% range, and that's of gross profit. And so that's why I say, your volume, it has to increase 40%.
I love what you're saying here too, because it's kind of a peeve of mine that people sit there and say, "Oh, I didn't have to take algebra, and I'm never going to use algebra in my life." And that's why they don't recognize stuff like this. Or here's a funny, you'll recognize this from retail. When I was in retail, we used to have Memorial Day weekend sales. We'll use that since it was recently Memorial Day a couple weeks ago. And basically, we would have a sale that was 50% off plus 10. And every single person thought that meant 60. But no, that's not what it means. You have to do the math. And so I relate that to this because it's so true. People think, doing a 10% price cut is not a big deal. But if you do the math, like you said, it's costing you 40% for that 10% decrease.
Right. And no one considers the cost of more customer complaints, more mistakes made in the field, more aggravation, more output means more people. No one considers that part.
I love that too, because I do consider that part. Okay. The fact is that I'd rather have a few big clients than a bunch of little clients in certain respects. Other respects, not necessarily, but those respects you're talking about, it is true. Because here's the thing too, you do this 10% price cut. This is what I've learned in business all my life, is that those new customers you get that you didn't get before the price cut, they're the ones that are going to call you 10 million times, email you 10 million times, have 10 million questions. And, basically they feel for that 10% price cut that they should get 40% worth of extra service.
Right. It's amazing. And that's what the 10% price trap is. Because that, a business, and even a 5% drop, you still have to make up more volume, and you're still going to have that more activity, more aggravation, more people needed. It's a vicious circle. I strongly recommend no price drops. And
what do you recommend?
I recommend price increases.
There you go.
That's what I normally recommend. It's hard for business owners to get their head around that, especially, the situations where business owners have a real problem with it is they're trying to keep people busy. And so they'll drop whatever it takes just to keep them busy. Usually that's not a good practice over time. Maybe you have to lay off, maybe you have to put people on temporary leave, and have them collect unemployment. There's strategies around that I've used with clients. I call it retention bonuses, where if people come back after a leave, they get a bonus if they work there 6 months or more. So there's all types of different ways to skin the cat on that. Business owners go right for the drop of the price, and it's just not the right thing.
Yeah, and I gotta say that there's in like the restaurant or service industry, they do that quite often in certain areas. Like I'm from the Jersey Shore, where basically after Memorial Day weekend to Labor Day weekend, it's like insanity, and the rest of the year it's a ghost town. And so many of the businesses, especially in the service industry, restaurants or things like that, close down during the off season instead of keeping the doors open to really get no business. Or there's other examples I've seen of restaurants that, they find out that maybe lunchtime is not their good time. So they'll close down for several hours during that time. Because even the fact of, you think about it, if you have a restaurant as an example, the cost of just turning the lights on all that time
absolutely
could be significantly damaging to the business.
Right. No, absolutely. When I was in the ski business, we closed in the off season, totally closed, shut them down. And it was really effective because we specialized in ski. We didn't specialize in selling aqualungs or whatever the counter seasonal product would be, so it definitely can pay off to do that. No question.
So how do people reach out to you and get more information, find out more strategies that can benefit their business with your powerful business strategies?
Well, they could do a couple things, Dean. They go to my website, nextstepcfo.net. In the right-hand corner is a link to a diagnostic. The diagnostic takes 3 to 5 minutes. You just answer a few questions, and it comes up with 3 business strategies that your competition isn't doing, along with the financial impact that those strategies would have if they were implemented, along with an explanation of the strategy and how to go about implementing it. That's totally free. You could also go to my website and hit the contact page, fill out the contact form, and just put diagnostic, and I'd send it to you immediately. But it is right there on the site as well. So they could contact me in any of those ways. And once they do the diagnostic, that's a form of contacting me because I know that they did it.
There you go. Well, once again, you're a wealth of information, and this advice today should make people money for sure and save them money at the same time.
Absolutely.
So thanks once again for giving us some powerful business strategies here on the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Thanks for having me, Dean.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.